Like, what are you actually reading? Are you reading anything of a positive, inspiratory nature? And is there anything you want to discuss? If not, I'll just start talking about how to make more money, or I'll talk about something of a positive nature. So let me know. Feel free to let me know what you want me to talk about. And I usually talk about the law of attraction, which basically states that like attracts like. For those of you who aren't familiar with this law, I would recommend practicing it in your own life. Start by making a vision board, putting up pictures of what it is you want to see. And then every day look at your board, see what it is you want, feel it as if you have it now. And you'll be putting out an energy, and you have to attract people, places, situations, circumstances, and events that match up with what you're putting out. I'll tell a story about when I first started out doing this. I put up a picture of Paris Hilton. And I would just look at the board and I'd say, Paris Hilton, Paris Hilton, Paris Hilton. First day goes by, nothing happens. Second day goes by, nothing happens. Third day goes by, my friend calls me and he goes, hey, do you want to meet for dinner? I'm like, sure. So I meet him outside this restaurant, and I'm waiting for my other friends to show up. And this car pulls up, and who do they drop off right there? Paris Hilton. So when you use vision boards, I'm drinking Olipop. It's a soda for digestion, and it's giving me some indigestion. So when you use vision boards, you can create essentially miracles in your life. So if there's a specific area you want me to focus on, let me know. If not, I'll just give out tips or techniques. Or if there's anything you want me to talk about, law of attraction books, how to make more money using law of attraction, how to improve your relationships, how to be confident. I mean, there's nothing off limits. So you can ask me whatever you want, and we can talk about it tonight. And I just signed on, so more people will start streaming in. And once they do, usually the comments get rocking and rolling. So what area of your life do you want the most help with? If you're not sure what area you need the most help with in, just look at your life and see what areas are working and what areas aren't. Those areas that aren't working are areas that you need to shift your belief system. Your life is lived inside out. So what that means is the areas that aren't good, that aren't what you want them to be, it means that there's something in your subconscious. Your subconscious controls your beliefs, habits, and bodily functions. That means there's something in your subconscious that needs to be adjusted. Would like to know more about the law of attraction? Perfect. I'll get into it more in depth in 1 second. Or let's get into it right now. So you want to know more about the law? Oh, it's Pasadena Rose. Hello. Good to see you back on here. So, law of attraction. The law of attraction basically states that like attracts like. That as you sow, so shall you reap. That what you put out into the universe is what you get back. Now, if I was to start, let me take a step back. Within your brain are millions of brain cells. Hello. Within those brain cells are millions, maybe billions of electrons. When you start thinking a thought, those brain cells start to vibrate abnormally, and that vibration that you put out lands on other people who bring to you what it is you want. The law of vibration should actually be called the law of attraction should actually be called the law of vibration. So it's important to be aware of what energy you're putting out as you go throughout your day. One thing that I recommend everyone does is set a certain amount of time aside every day to visualize and feel what it is you want, so that you're putting out, so you're making a conscious effort to put out good energy that'll transform and shift things in your life. Most people are living life by default. They're just going through their day, and if good things happen, they feel good. And if bad things happen, they feel bad. I want you to be the captain of your ship. The way most people do it, it's like they're a ship without a rudder. They're just going in circles. That's why you see most people never getting anywhere. I want you to, by the way, that's one reason that goal setting is so effective, is you have a destination, you're putting out a vibration, you know where you're going, and it keeps you in a positive state even when the rhythm of life or the ups and downs occur. So I would first recommend setting aside time every day that you put forth positive energy. Second, I would get pictures of what the end result looks like and show them to yourself every day and feel as if it's taking place now. The more feeling that an image has, the faster it gets impressed on your subconscious, and the quicker it will manifest in your body and in your environment. Any idea that you impress on your subconscious gets impressed on your body and in your environment. So it's important to show yourself things of a healthy, constructive nature. See yourself getting healthy. See yourself being well. See yourself earning more than ever before. So put forth good energy, show yourself positive images. And third, hello, good to have you on here, Zachy. And third, affirm things of a positive nature. I have in my course that you see in my bio, I have pages and pages of positive affirmations for every area of your life. If you want me to recommend some affirmations during this live, I'm happy to do so. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're welcome. I'm definitely glad to help out. So thank you for that. So I would, feel good, show yourself positive images, back them up with affirmations, and then I would take time throughout the day to reset. So I start off good in the morning, and then I go to work, etc. And then during lunch, I usually take a break, and I have actually a 5-minute hypnosis track. Give me 1 second. I just got to take off the sweater because I'm like burning up. Then I'll tell you guys some more stuff. Oof. All right. So my shirt says Drive Pink. It's for the company I used to work for. Donates a lot of money to cancer research. So where was I? So I have on my phone, it's a 5-minute hypnosis, or I say 5 minutes, but it's actually 15 minutes. But it's a hypnosis track that you can, anyone can make on your phone. If you're not utilizing your phone correctly, what I highly recommend doing is using the recorder on your phone and recording yourself saying a number of affirmations for whatever area of your life you'd like to improve, and listening to that every day so these positive ideas get more and more impressed on your subconscious. And how is your dad, Zach? Good question, Pasadena. And I think today, if you all want, I'll talk about the law of rhythm, or I'll talk about some of the other universal laws, because it's not that they're never covered, but most people who teach metaphysics, most metaphysical teachers only focus on the law of attraction, and they never get into any of the other laws, which I think are really important. I'm going to take off my beanie because I'm cooking in here. It was super cold, but now that I'm talking a lot, it's getting hot. So I'm going to talk first about I'll talk about the law of rhythm first. I was going to talk about the law of perpetual transmutation of energy, but I'll talk about the law of rhythm first. So this is really important for you all to know. So the law of rhythm basically states that there's a high and a low for everything that goes on in your life. There's, just look at the tides. There's a time where it's high tide. There's a time with low tide. I get something out of whenever you talk. Oh, thank you. All right. So there's times when it's high tide. There's times when it's low tide. Now, what does this have to do with your life? There's times when things are going to be good. When things are good, first acknowledge the good. Feel gratitude for what's taking place in your life. When you do that, it causes you to attract more of that good. Also, when things are going good, take action, get into motion, get flowing, get going, so that you're sowing from that positive state so that you can attract to yourself more good. Now, when the rhythm goes into the low rhythm, don't get caught up in the illusion of life as so many people do. What I want you to do is, the reason that the low rhythm is there, it's when things seem difficult or aren't working right. It's there for you to grow. So when that occurs, ask yourself, what do I need to learn? Or what's the good in this? Within every negative event is this seed of an equal or greater benefit. I'll say it again. Within every negative event is the seed of an equal or greater benefit. We've all had those times in our life that seemed the worst, that whatever was occurring seemed like as if it could be the worst thing that could happen to us, but instead it ended up being the best thing that ever happened to us. That's because there's a law of polarity. There's a hot and a cold, a low and a high, hate, love. There's a law of polarity. And so however bad something might be, that's how much good is there if you can tap into it. So when the low rhythm occurs, ask yourself, where do I need to grow? Where do I need to improve? And use that low time to make your life better, so that when the high time occurs, you'll stay in the higher longer. Also, when you're in the low rhythm, start to anticipate the high rhythm. Tell yourself, there's that saying, this too shall pass. Tell yourself, this is going to pass very quickly. Soon I'll be back in the high rhythm. I'll be feeling good. I'll be earning more money. I'll be doing great. So start to anticipate the good. And as you anticipate the good, you move along that scale of polarity, and you'll be backed up. Not backed up. You'll be sent up to the high rhythm faster. And then when you're in the high rhythm, feel gratitude, feel appreciation, and you'll stay in that high state longer, and you'll stay in that low state shorter. Also, if you read the Kybalion is a book by a man by the name of Hermes Trismegistus. He says in the book, essentially, he said, when through the law of mental transmutation, when you can control your thoughts, you can essentially affix yourself to a certain point on the rhythm. It's as if you're magnetizing yourself to a certain point of the rhythm so that the rhythm will take place, but it'll no longer affect you. Or you're essentially fixed to a certain point and you can stay there. That's why the rich get richer and so on. So start to be aware of your thoughts, what's taking place within you throughout the day, and set up some type of routine, morning, afternoon, and night, where you affirm positive things to yourself so you're always in a positive state, so that your default state of being, you want to so train yourself so that your default state of being is one of positivity, is one of optimism. Most people, they live their life in a negative default state. And so when they feel good at rare times, it's almost as if it's abnormal. Usually they need something to boost them up, some type of accelerant or alcohol or something of that nature. Not you. Do things to make yourself feel good now so that you continuously stay in a good mood throughout the day. So I've been talking about the law of attraction. For those of you who are just tuning in, first, if you don't follow me, please do, because I talk about this stuff pretty much every day. I put up videos of a positive nature. And now if there's any questions any of you want to ask me, feel free to ask. I'm an open book. And if there's no questions, I'll just keep talking about various laws. Some of which you've probably heard of and some of them which you haven't. And I'm going to pull up some laws, some material right now for me to talk about. So give me one sec, or in the meantime, ask whatever you like. By the way, I'll talk about one law, right? Actually, let me pull it up right here. And then I have a bunch of slides behind me that I'm going to use, my cheat sheets, so to speak. And do you sell any of the books that you speak of? Yes. No, I don't sell any of the. I do. I have a link on a link tree, but right now I've just been sending people to my course. How did you get into all this? I'll answer Pasadena's question, then I'll tell you. So, do I sell any of the books that you speak of? Yeah, I can send you a link that'll have all the books that I always talk about that I think people should help. If you just want my content, I would recommend getting my course that's in my bio. It's 8 hours and it's only $12.99, and it's basically me walking you through the A to Z of metaphysics. So I make it all just super easy. There's tons of tips and techniques and exercises to make the whole process fun. And I'm always there. If you have a question, you can just send it, and then I'll end up usually responding to you within 24 or 48 hours. Oh, you bought it. Oh, awesome. Thanks. All right, cool. And then how did you get in? Okay, cool. Great. Thank you. And how did you get into all this? I got into all this because I was 19 at the time, and I had moved to a different city, and I saw that my life, I thought once I moved and once I got into college, my life would suddenly be great and I would be totally happy. And I got there and I was surprised when I moved into that new city to see that I was still mentally the same Tony I was in that old city. So then I came to the realization, it's not the city, it's me. There's something going on within my own consciousness that needs to shift. And so at that point I started reading Flow, It Is Law. Is it? I'll tell you in 1 second about that. I realized that it's me that needs to shift. And so I started reading all these things of a positive nature. And then I just kept studying them, and seeing what worked and what didn't. I would do all kinds of practices and exercises with my friends to see what would get results and what wouldn't. And I'd keep what's good, and that's what I share with you. And then whatever didn't work, just let it go. When I stop resisting, I float. It is law. So I think that sounds something like what Esther Hicks talks about. She talks about going upstream and going downstream. Most people, so there's a flow to life. Life, it's your natural state is one of joy, is one of beauty. That's what everyone wants to be. And most people, though, they have these ideas that they have to work hard, they have to grind, they have to, do this miserable stuff that doesn't feel right to them. And that, she talks about that's going upstream. She said, though, when you stop resisting and stop doing what doesn't feel right, then you're essentially flowing. You're going with the flow of life. And you're floating and you're going with the flow of life. And that's what she means by it is law. So let me know if that makes sense. If you find that a lot of things aren't working right, or it's one bad thing after the next, and that means you have a lot of mental resistance. So at that point, just slow down. Go meditate. Go listen to one of my meditation tracks. Affirm some positive stuff to yourself. And then watch things begin to shift for you. Good question, and good to see you on here. So For those of you who are just joining, feel free to ask whatever you like. We're talking about a number of different subjects. And I'm going to pull up some spiritual laws for us to talk about. In case no one has any questions, I'll just start freestyling. And I hope you have questions because I love the questions. I'll tell you what to do about that. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Okay. Here it is. Okay. So let's get to your question first. I just have negative people around me that don't think like this. So first, I have a two-part answer to that question. First, get a pen and paper and write out, my ideal friends or my peer group, and list how you would like them to be. Uplifting, kind, constructive, positive thinkers. Write it all out, how you would like it to be, and then see it, imagine yourself being with these people, and then feel the energy that you're with this peer group. You'll start putting out a positive energy, and one of two things will happen. Either your current friends will become this, or you'll start to attract to yourself new people, new resources such as positive friends or Facebook groups that'll match what it is you're putting out. I would also make a conscious effort, if you have negative people around you, to stop spending so much time with them and start spending time with people that you like. Go online and type in, meetups, go on meetup.com. Hello, and look for people in your area that are doing what you want to do. Look for mentors that can mentor you, that you can spend some solid time with every month or every week, guiding you so that you have a better life. Or get with a business coach or a coach that can coach you so that you're spending time with the people that you want to spend time with. And most importantly, first focus on yourself, making sure that you're putting forth the right energy. You're speaking about the right subjects so that you're attracting to yourself what it is you want. And when you go around those negative people, refrain from their negativity. If they give you something negative, return positive for it. If you can't, just say, oh. Oh means that you're not agreeing with them, you're not disagreeing with them, you're just letting the energy circulate and you're just letting them do whatever they do, but it has no effect on you. But don't get wrapped up into their stuff. You want to stay flying high, which is what how I want you to be as well. So, is that your vision board behind you? Yes, it is. I'll get into it in 1 second. So let me know if that helps you, Pasadena Rose. But I would, again, write out my ideal peer group, list how you want them to be, and then see it and feel it. Start with the idea first, then the feeling, and then watch who shows up, and then take action after you've done that. My peer group they're wealthy, they're successful, they're uplifting, so on. If there's somebody in my group or somebody introduces me to somebody and they're not what I want, I immediately cut them out. It's not that I don't have compassion for people, but you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I spend my time with winners. I was with some of my peers the other day, and one of my friends actually said this. We were talking about the Biden tax plan, about how it only affects people who earn over $400,000 a month. And one of my friends said, he said, if you're okay, he wasn't talking to me, he was just saying in general, he said, if you're okay with earning only $400,000 a month, I don't want you in my peer group. And for a lot of people, $400,000 is a lot. We're talking about California standards. And he said he didn't want anybody. He said if they're content at being at that low level financially, he didn't want them around him because he's earning so much money that it would actually bring him down. $400,000 a year is what he was talking about. So you want to be aware of who you're spending your time with, what their value system is, and does it match up with what you want for your life. When I was really into dating, I used to be a dating coach. I used to take guys out and coach them. I would do all this stuff. If I had somebody around me, if I approached a woman and it didn't go well, and the guy after it didn't go well would say something, not that it didn't go well, but I didn't get her number. And the guy would say, someone in the group would say like, oh man, she just blew you out, or man, you just got rejected. If they would say stupid things like this, right away I'd kick them out of the group. Because I want, thanks. I want people that are positive, that are uplifting, that are constructive, that are winners in my group. How old are you? You have some gray in your beard. I'm 39. So that's how old I am. Now that is my vision board behind me. I have on it, new thought leader, Lamborghini, so on, money, So just stuff that puts me in a positive mood. But what I have that, and I also have on my phone though a number of pictures of what it is I want to see in my life. It's me in shape, things like that I look at every morning, and then I visualize and feel as if I have them now. Oh, I thought you were 26. Oh, thank you. Okay, cool. So I appreciate it. So, and thank you, Pasadena Rose. So, what else was I going to say about peer group? By the way, if you have certain friends that your cheerleaders yeah, thanks, man. It's good to be supported and appreciated. So thank you all for this. So, by the way, if you have people in your peer group that seem to be negative, yo, good to see you on here. That's my boy Greg. He's a spiritual powerhouse. It's always awesome talking to him. We do something we call composite healing. This is something that you'll all enjoy and you'll get something out of. So this is where one of us calls the other one, and we'll ask the other one, what area do you want to work on? It could be health, wealth, relationships, happiness. We'll ask each other, what do you want to work on? And so the other one will say, let's say Greg tells me, Tony, I want to work on health. I'll have him relax, and I'll tell him, I'll say, okay, I'll ask him first, do you agree to work with me? When you agree to work with somebody, the trap door to their subconscious or your subconscious is open, and you're receptive to the positive ideas that you're about to receive. So he'll ask, I'll ask him, do you agree to work with me? He'll say yes. And then I'll tell him, I'm going to count down now from 5 to 1. And when I arrive at 1, you will be in a totally relaxed, peaceful state. And I'll count down in a soothing voice. 5, 4, 3, and so on until I get to 1. And then once I'm at 1, his trap door to his subconscious is open, and I'll plant a bunch of positive ideas in there. And then once I give him these positive ideas, I'll tell him, I'm now going to count upwards from 1 to 5. And when I arrive at 5, you'll be wide awake. So we've put all this stuff into his subconscious, these positive seeds that are going to bring forth a positive crop. So we do this for each other. It's a great way. If you have any friends that are into this kind of stuff, use each other to grow. Use each other to better yourselves. You can be a springboard for each other's growth. Neither one of us, Greg and I, will never allow each other to stay in a negative state. Pasadena Rose, going back to what you said earlier about your friend group, I mean, Greg is one of my best friends, and we've just used each other to grow and grow and grow and grow. That's the kind of people you want to spend your time with. So, and by the way, Pasadena, since you have my course, this is all in the section on the composite personality. It's section 3, lesson 22, the composite personality. Check it out. It'll help you tremendously. And for those of you who are watching this, if you type in Tony Namey composite, just type in Tony Namey composite, COMPOSITE on YouTube. I have a number of affirmations that I'll walk you through a shortened version of that process. And then, do I like Tony Robbins? I love Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins actually saved my life, not mentally, but physically, in the sense that, actually mentally, he helped me tremendously too. I don't want to shortchange him. He has a whole section on being alkaline, why it's important to be alkaline. And I didn't know about any of this. I was eating, I used to eat a lot of meat. I would just eat whatever. My body was essentially a garbage compactor. And once he spoke about alkalinity versus acidity, I went vegetarian for a while. And then I was eating really healthy. I started taking vitamins. I made a number of changes to my diet and to what I was putting into my system. Not just in terms of diet, but I changed my shampoo even. I mean, I changed a lot of things. And my energy levels went way up, and the amount of time I spent sleeping went way down. So I love Tony Robbins. Also, Tony Robbins, I would call him a practical psychologist. If you go to a therapist, and I'm not knocking therapists, because I think they do a tremendous amount of good, but a lot of them take time. They take numerous sessions, whereas Tony Robbins is trying to knock it out all in one shot, which I really like. So for that reason, I'm a big fan of his. I'll do that. Awesome. Cool. And for those of you who just joined, feel free to let me know if you have any questions. There's no topics that are off limits. And if there are no questions, I'll just start talking about various spiritual laws in the meantime. So, okay. So I'm going to talk right now about the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. So I'll say it again because it has a fancy title. the law of perpetual transmutation of radiant energy. And it basically states everything in the universe is constantly moving or changing. That's one. And two, for any amount of energy that's put out, a like amount must be taken on. So I'll start with the second part first. For any amount of energy that's put out, a like amount must be taken on. Now, what does this have to do with you? Why is this important to your life? For any amount of energy that's put out, a like amount must be taken on. So you want to spend time in positive feelings, in positive energy, in positive surroundings. The better you feel, the more good you're putting out, and the more good you're going to get back. It's super simple. Also, David Hawkins, in his excellent book, Power versus Force, talks about how one positive thought counterbalances the negative effects of something like 300 or 400, hundreds of negative thoughts. So you want to spend time in positive energy, thinking positive thoughts, so that you're attracting to yourself what it is you want. Now, I also said everything in the universe is constantly moving and changing. Why is this important to you? When you see somebody such as Pasadena, you had spoken earlier about the negative people in your life, refuse to see them as negative. From now on, don't see them as this fixed negative thing. From now on, see the potential within them. Tell yourself, these people are positive, they're loving, they're kind. The Spirit of God is within them. If you're into religion or that form of spirituality, tell yourself the Spirit of God, the Spirit is good there, and allow your thought vibration to reach them and activate that good that's within them. Don't think of people as stuck, fixed things. Think of them as every person has within them infinite potential for good. So see the good in them, even if they can't see it for themselves, and they'll absolutely love you for it. I'm thinking of I made a video, I haven't posted it yet. I'm thinking of the phrase from Goethe. He said, see a man as he is, and he becomes worse. See him as what he could be, and he becomes what he should be. When you see somebody as stuck, as negative, you're putting energy towards that negative image and creating for them more of what they don't want and what you don't want. Instead, see the person the way you would like him or her to be, assuming that it's good for them, and allow that person to transform and shift. What I would recommend doing first is relax your body, then relax your mind by counting down from 20 to 1 or 30 to 1 if you're new to this stuff. If you're new to this stuff, count down from 30 to 1 or 40 to 1. What this does is it relaxes your mind and the trap door to your subconscious begins to open. And then mentally see and feel the end result that you would like for the person in your life. See your negative friends as optimistic. See them telling you how great things are going, how happy they are. And then see yourself congratulating them. You've implanted these positive ideas on your subconscious. The theory is that there's only one subconscious mind, one subjective mind in the universe. And as you implant it on your subconscious, it'll be implanted or start to express in their subconscious and conscious mind. Also, you've put forth a series of thought vibrations of positivity, and either your friend is going to rise up and match what it is you're putting forth, or your friend is going to leave and no longer be a part of your life because you're in a state of positivity. And if they're in a state of negativity, you'll zig while they zag. And you'll only attract them when they come up to match what it is you're putting forth. So it's a great way to insulate yourself, so to speak, from the negativity of the world. Let me know if that helps, by the way, if you're getting something from this. And then I'm going to start talking about the law of vibration, I think, next. Okay, give me 1 second, then I'm going to jump into some other stuff. Okay, I'll talk about the law of relativity, but before I do that, does anyone have any questions on anything? Is there anything you want to ask me, any areas you need help with? Somebody asked about my vision board before, but I had just spoken about vision boards a few minutes ago, so let me know if you want me to talk about my vision board or how to make vision boards more powerful. Just let me know. I rarely encounter people who breathe life back into me. I feel drained very easily. So, okay, I have a few things to say in regards to that. I spoke about this the other night. Do I do that to myself? Yes. First, right out. So for everybody watching this, your self-image is the most important image that you can have. The idea that you have of yourself is the most important idea that you can have. If you get one thing from this live, it's this next topic that I'm going to discuss. And this next exercise I'm going to have you all do. Oh, okay, cool. I'll get into that, Mandy Cat, after this. So I'll answer your question too as well, Snow. So First, grab a pen and paper and at the top write out my new self-image. So my new self-image. And list yourself how you'd like yourself to be. Mandy Cat, in your sense, you're going to write, I am surrounded with people who make me feel energized. I am energized at all time. I love who I spend time with. And things of a positive, I have high energy at all times. I always feel good. And write out the script, essentially, of how you want yourself to be. For other people, it might be, I'm wealthy, I'm super rich, whatever it is, however you'd like yourself to be. And every day I want you to read this self-image, see yourself in your mind's eye as being this, and then bring this image into the first person. So see yourself first in the third person, then bring it into the first person and feel it. Feel the feelings of the end result. Even if it's in the third person, still feel the feelings of the end result. What this is going to do is it's going to send a powerful image to your subconscious, and your subconscious, not knowing the difference between what's real and what's false, is going to say, this is me now, this positive self-image, and it's going to go to work on creating that for you. Mandy Cat, your subconscious controls things such as your beliefs, your habits, and your bodily functions. So when you show it this positive self-image of you being high energy, of you being surrounded with people who make you feel good, it's going to say, this is me now, and it's going to go to work to create that. It's going to shift things in your body and your mind and your environment so that your life will become that. Now, if you're feeling drained by people, I have a few things to say about that. One, what is it that you're talking about or discussing when you're around them that's making you feel drained? When I'm around people, I usually tend to feel more energized because the conversations that we discuss are things that are of a positive nature, and it causes brain cells of positivity to vibrate within me, and as a result, I feel better. That's one. Two, if irrespective of what you're talking about, you still feel drained around those people, then cease spending time with them. You deserve to have a happy life. For each of you that are watching this, all of you deserve to have a happy life. Spend your time with winners. Spend your time with people who view life as on the sunny side. Their cup is always half full. You want to spend your time with those people because when you're in a good mood, they'll make you be in a better mood. When you're in a bad mood, they'll shift you into a good mood. Spend your time with the optimistic people in life, the people that see life from the sunny side. It'll do you a tremendous amount of good. I don't care if you've known... You asked about negative people. Is it just bad to let a negative person go if it's so toxic? Cut them off without a moment's hesitation. You don't owe them anything. If they're bringing you are not a human dumping ground. If people call me with negativity, what I ask them is this. I'll say, are you calling me to vent or are you calling me for a solution? If they're calling me to vent, I let them just go through their process, and I just relax. If they're calling me for a solution, then I let them speak and then I give them the solution to their problem. If they're just calling me to emotionally dump all the time, I will cut that out so fast because my mental state is hugely important to me. In fact, your vibration is the most important thing that you can offer the world. So you want to stay in a good state at all times. I want to go back to... So Mandy Cat, I also want you to spend time doing things that you enjoy. Meditate in the morning. Go walk in nature. Do things that make your battery recharge, so to speak, so that you feel strong. So that if you're around those people, even if they take a little bit of energy, you're so mentally strong and you're so physically vibrant and alive that they can't take anything from you. Also, what are you doing with your body throughout the day? I would recommend taking several times throughout the day that you stick your chest out, look up, smile big, and just breathe deep. Breathe into your body. Reset your emotional, your emotional guidance system. Reset yourself emotionally throughout the day so that you feel energized and strong. There's a theory called the James Lange theory that says what you do with your body affects your mind. Again, what you do with your body affects your mind. So you want to stand tall. All of you try right now. Stick your chest out, look up, and then just take a deep breath. And if necessary, do it again. Take one more deep cleansing breath. So that simple process causes your brain to begin producing tonic feel-good chemicals into your body. There was a study actually done at Harvard that showed they're called power poses. If you just place your hands on your hips and look up in that Wonder Woman pose and stand that way for 30 seconds to a minute, your brain will start to produce tonic feel-good chemicals and you'll actually feel better. It'll produce anti-aging chemicals. So be aware of how you're using your body as you go throughout your day. I spoke about this yesterday. Tony Robbins talks about how there's only 3 factors that control your state: your physiology, your focus, and your language. So be aware of what you're doing with your body. Be aware of what you're focused on. For you to feel negative, you have to be looking at, speaking about, or focusing on something negative. So shift your focus to what feels good. And lastly, be aware of how you use your language. What words do you use? What tonality do you use? What level of volume do you use? If I'm depressed, I'm going to talk slow and I'm going to talk lower. But if I'm happy, I'm going to talk really fast. I'm going to talk really high. I'm going to talk really animated. So be aware. It's very hard to be depressed if you're talking like this in a really fast motion because your energy is building. So talk faster if you want to sell something to somebody, and also if you want to be in a good mood. So that's what I would recommend. So physiology, focus, language, and also all the other things that I mentioned in regards to that question. And then, okay. Yeah, let me see on vision board. All right, so before I get in the vision board, let me see if there's any other questions. Yes, you asked a great question, Steele. Cheerios, stick around. I'm going to talk about my vision board really quick. By the way, do you want me to talk about vision boards? I'll talk about my vision board really quick, and then I'll get into that question because I have a lot to say about that. Vision boards. I love vision boards. I love vision boards for a few reasons. One, you can use a vision board to keep you on track because every day you're seeing what it is you want. So you won't get too caught up with whatever is taking place in your life, but instead you'll stay on the right track to attract to yourself what it is you want. Now, the reason they work is through repetition and emotion. You're showing yourself what it is you want and you're feeling the end result of it. And as a result of doing these, through repetition, you're impressing this idea on your subconscious. Imagine that here's your subconscious and here's the idea you have. And you're just, pounding on it or impressing it on your subconscious until it's in your subconscious. And then you have it for life. That belief, that idea, it'll be operating in there. And once it's in your subconscious will go to work to manifest it in your body and in your environment. When you were a kid, you learned the ABCs through repetition. A, B, C. You would practice them night and day and at first, you didn't have them all right, but now you could say it, forwards, backwards, and so on. So in like fashion, every day show yourself images of what it is you want and feel the feeling of the end result. Feeling is the secret. Neville Goddard, one of my favorite spiritual teachers, says feeling is the secret. The more feeling that an image has, the faster it gets impressed on your subconscious and the more it'll manifest in your body and in your environment. So you want to feel what it is that you're showing yourself. That's, by the way, one thing that a lot of people who don't get results with the law of attraction aren't doing. They're saying certain affirmations to themselves, but there's no feeling behind it. So get into the feeling tone of what it is you want and show yourself the end result of it. Now, what I also recommend doing is putting yourself on the vision board. So you're seeing yourself on there every day and put your vision board at a slightly higher height than you are. Put it at about 20 degrees higher than you are. The reason being is when you look up at your vision board, when you look up at anything at about 20 degree angle, it causes your brain to begin going into an alpha cycle. Beta is a state of mind that occurs when you're awake. Alpha is the state of mind that occurs when you start to go into meditation and deep meditation. So you want to put your vision board at a slightly higher angle than you are. And lastly, if you can, play some music. Allow yourself to get into the feeling tone of what it is you want. You can also put positive affirmations there. And your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's false. So when you start showing it these positive images, it's going to say, this is my life now. And it's going to go to work to make that a reality in your life. No. Okay. Let me know if that helps you, by the way. This is live. Yes, this is me talking. This is not a recording. This is me talking. I'm here. Yep. I'm going through a breakup. Okay, so let me see. I'll help you with your breakup. Let me answer these questions and I'll get to that too. So, okay. Can you change the relationship between you and your partner through the law of attraction? Absolutely. By the way, is Greg still on here? because if he is, awesome. Everybody, I recommend getting a vision board and doing it. And also, I like to take screenshots of things that I like on my phone, and I make an album of it called Vision Board. And I just go through it every day, seeing what it is I want, feeling it, and I go to the next picture, go to the next picture. So that's a great way to have it on your phone as well for extra support. Now, you said, can you change your partner through the law of attraction? Was that the question? Let me see. Yeah, can you change the relationship between you and your partner through the law of attraction? Absolutely. I spoke about this the other day. When my father first went to prison, my dad did 16 years in prison. So when he got out, I went and lived with him. And every day it was as if he and I were every day we would bump heads, and every day it was as if we were gonna fist fight. We were not getting along. You had two type A personalities, two alpha men in the same house, and there can only be one. And so we were constantly butting heads. Especially I had God knows how much unresolved issues as a result of him going to prison. And he had his own stuff going on, not to mention all the issues of life. So at first it was not harmonious at all. So then I one day things got really escalated, and I told myself, Tony, wait up. You understand all this stuff. You understand that everything is energy. You understand metaphysics. Take a step back. And so I got out a pen and paper and I wrote out 10 things I like about my dad. And I got into the feeling tone of what I like about my dad. And my dad has a lot of great qualities. And I remember he came home that day. He slammed the door in a good mood. He was like, hey, what's up, son? And that day changed the trajectory of our entire relationship. I wrote out what I liked about him. I felt the feelings of gratitude and appreciation for him, for who he is. And I put forth that energy. And as a result, he became that list. And that's what I attracted to myself. And we've had a great relationship. This was over 10 years ago. We've had a great relationship since then. Now, for your relationship, for you and your partner, write out 10 things I like about my partner and list the 10 things. And if you like, you can also add in positive qualities that you would like to see your partner have. Let's say your partner is somebody who is usually on the negative side of speech. Say, my partner is always optimistic. And this is an interesting thing because one of two things is going to happen. Either your partner is going to rise up and become that optimistic person, or your partner is going to leave and you're going to meet a new partner who is that optimistic person. But either way, you win and hopefully your partner does. But usually what you want for your partner that's good for him or her, they want for themselves too. Nobody wants to stay negative or harmful or destructive to other people. So as you start to focus on the positive attributes that your partner has, the positive attributes that you want, that person will rise up through those positive thought vibrations. They will affect your partner, and he or she will start to reflect that. Also, as you read these positive attributes to yourself every day, you will start to become more of your list. You'll be more thoughtful, more kind, and you'll become better, and your partner will become better. An additional point, as you're reading this list to yourself every day of how amazing your partner is, you're impressing these ideas of how great your partner is upon your own subconscious. There is subconscious to subconscious communication. People might call it telepathy, but you are at all times, you're a transmitter. You're a broadcasting and receiving station. And as you read this list to yourself every day, you're going to be creating an electromagnetic field around you in regards to your partner. And when your partner steps into that field, he or she is going to feel so blessed and so grateful. They might not even know why, but you'll know why. It's as if you're giving them a spiritual shower, throwing blessings on them every time they're around you. And the reason being is that you've created all these brain cells of a positive type in relation to your partner, and watch how amazing he or she feels. So make a list, 10 things I like about my partner. List out your partner's positive attributes and qualities, both those that currently take place and those that you want. And then make another list, write out my relationship with, and write your partner's name, my relationship with, say the partner's name, and list how you would like the relationship to be. And then every day, read your first list of your partner's qualities, and then read your second list and visualize and feel the relationship being that way. Focus on the end result. Most people get caught up in the illusion of life. They see what they don't like, what's happening, and they just keep replaying this every day. I heard a saying, I'm going to paraphrase it, that most people don't live for 20 years. They live 1 year 20 times over. So don't be like those people. Create in your mind an idea of how you want the relationship to be, not just in your mind. Actually write it out and feel it every day, and watch things shift with your partner, and watch how beautiful your relationship is. People are going to be in awe of how great you two get along. They won't know what it is. Your partner might not even know what it is, but it's going to work. You're going to have a fantastic relationship. If you both you want to take your relationship to the next level, you can each make lists about each other and have a general list that you can put on your refrigerator of how you both want your relationship to be, and feel it every day. That is a fantastic exercise. And then also, I would spend some time every day. It might sound silly, but tell each other every day a few things that you're grateful for about each other. I hope you do this. I do this with the woman I'm talking to right now. I tell her every day, how grateful she is, how amazing she is. I want her to feel as good as possible. And it feels good making her feel good. So you want to say to your partner things of a positive nature so that he or she feels better and you feel better. There's these cards that I bought for my cousin and her husband. They're called compliment cards. You can get them, and you give a card to your partner every day, and you pick a card and you say something nice to each other throughout the day. So let me know if those tips help you. I also have one other story. I hope it's not too long. Neville Goddard, he told a story about, Neville Goddard is an amazing Christian mystic. He's one of my favorite spiritual teachers. And he tells a story about how a woman came to him one day and she said, Neville, I want you to help me manifest a new job. And he said, why? What's going on in your job that you want a new one? And she said, my boss, she's like, I hate my boss. He always insults me in front of everybody. So Neville tells her, let me guess. All right, he said, it's not your boss, it's you. And obviously this shocked the woman. She said, what do you mean it's me? He said, let me guess. When you drive to work every day, you're just berating your boss in your mind, right? And she said, yeah, actually, every day when I drive to work, I tell him how horrible he is, how much he makes me hate my job, how I want to quit. So Neville said, those thoughts are affecting him. What I want you to do is tell him how great of an employer he is, how much you enjoy your job, and watch things change. So she's driving to work now, and she's telling him, thank you so much for my job. I'm so appreciative of you. I'm so glad to be here. And she does this for a few days. And the boss calls her up. He said, hey, I want to talk to you. And he calls all the employees over. So she's thinking in her head, oh no, he's going to berate me again. But instead he tells her, he said, I want to tell you how great of a job that you're doing. And he ends up praising her in front of all the employees. Now, that story illustrates that thoughts are things. Thoughts are an electro manifestation of the brain. When you think thoughts towards somebody, they will go out and land on that person. And that person will take actions that they think are of their own volition, but you actually put that train of causation into motion. So be aware of what thoughts you're putting forth towards people and the circumstances and events in your life. You can shift things so fast and so dramatically, it'll blow your mind when you start to understand these processes. Great question. I'm going to write it down really quick and then I'll answer the next question just because I would like to do a video on that topic. Can you... All right, cool. Next question. Sometimes talking to people seems like so much, like every word takes energy I don't have. That's actually really good, Lettuce. When I did Vipassana, for those of you who don't know what it is, it's a 10-day silent meditation. You meditate for 10 hours a day for 10 days, and you're silent. And as your mind becomes more and more relaxed, all the stuff that's in your subconscious begins to come up to be released. And then once it's out there and you feel much better. However, you don't talk for the first 9 days, actually. The 10th day, they let you talk so that you readjust to being around people before you're sent out into society. So once I did that and I came back around people, I became really cognizant of how much energy I was expending talking to each individual. So if every word you're saying feels like it's taking a lot of energy, first, it goes back to what I had mentioned to someone earlier. Be aware of what you're talking about and who you're spending your time with. If you're spending your time with people that are making you feel dull, less than happy, change your peer group or change what you're talking about. Also, start to do things that build up your energy. Go spend time in nature, meditate, exercise, build up your energy so that you feel good. ask yourself, am I depressed? If you're feeling depressed are you feeling depressed before interacting with them, or only when you're around those people? If it's just when you're around those people, then get rid of them and replace them with people that make you feel good. If it's when you're by yourself, go back to what I spoke about earlier about state change. Be aware of what you do with your body. Be aware of what you're focused on throughout the day. And then be aware of the language you're using when you talk to yourself. And set various times throughout the day where you rest and you focus on good, what you want for yourself. And do that a number of times throughout the day so that you feel better. Let me know if that helps you and if that answers your questions. Okay, that's hard. I was watching a doctor talk about a broken heart during a breakup. Hold on one second. I think I missed some questions. I'm going through a breakup. How do I stop my mind's constant negative thoughts? Okay, let's see. That's a good question. Okay, so you're going through a breakup. So I have a number of thoughts on this. And it's a 15-year relationship, toxic, dysfunctional. Why? So first, let me ask you this. What part of it is hard? Not being around your partner, just realizing that you're back by yourself again. What is it that's causing it to feel hard? Second, realize that nobody ever breaks up. The relationship is transmuting itself into something that's hopefully healthier for you and something that's hopefully healthier for your partner. Now, if you want to start dating, again, which obviously it might be way too soon for this now. This is just for those other people on here who are going through a breakup. One idea that I always like to give myself for anything that happens is that everything is working together for my highest good. And whatever relationship I'm in after this is going to be better than this relationship. So automatically it shifts things because I tell myself, one, everything's working together for my good. So somehow some good's going to come from this. And two, whatever relationship is after this is going to be better than what the relationship I'm currently in. Or I was in, excuse me. I phrased that wrong. Now, Avon, what I would recommend doing is a few things for you. First, I want you to get yourself on some type of wellness system or wellness routine. You don't want your thoughts, if they're continuously going to what's difficult, to what hurts, you want your thoughts to almost like as if they're on autopilot for being well. So I would recommend doing something such as Kundalini yoga. I like Kundalini yoga as it's real fast-paced yoga in terms of breath work because it builds up your energy. The whole purpose of it is for you to have a realization of your oneness with God, but it takes a lot of repressed energy and it brings it out in healthy, constructive ways so you feel really good. So I would recommend doing some type of yoga. If you can, also start seeing a counselor or some type of professional, somebody outside your friends and family, your normal peer group, so you can talk about any pent-up feelings and emotions and be supported as you go through this process. A breakup doesn't have to be bad. It doesn't have to be painful. It could be something that's really good for you and your partner if that's what you want, and you can move yourself on to better things. And so start asking yourself, how can I improve my life? Start thinking thoughts, constructive thoughts of a positive nature. Start listening to meditations that help. If it's this severe, then go see somebody, a professional, that can start to coach you every day and help you adjust and help you essentially stay on a positive course as you go through this. Let me know if this helps you at all and if you want me to go more in depth. And also, you don't also, by the way, this is for everybody on this call. You never want to leave your happiness in the hands of somebody else. It's very dangerous. At any time, something could happen. That person could leave. God forbid that person passes away. So your happiness life should be lived inside out. Your happiness shouldn't depend on any person, place, or thing. Start to do things, Avon, even if they're little things that make you feel good. Go spend time in nature. If you have a dog, go walk your dog. Start to do things little by little that make you feel good and see how long you can keep yourself in a positive state and just keep attempting to extend that time until you're living from a purely positive state. Okay, do I have a podcast? I will have one probably within the next week or two. I'm going to start one. It's just I have so many things. I have 2 books that are coming out that I'm in the process of editing, a website that's about to be built. I just finished my Law of Attraction course. And then, so at some point within the next week or two, I'll get one going because I have so many topics to talk about. I have written down maybe 200 topics. And so I'll have one going. Thank you. I allowed it. I will get better. Absolutely. By the way, a great meditation for you to use, if you type in on YouTube, Esther Hicks relationship meditation. So Esther Hicks relationship meditation. There's a really good meditation that will gradually adjust you in terms of relationships that should help you. Or send me a DM and I'll send you a link for the meditation. Awesome. Tony, maybe you can spend some time trying to help Avon. Yes. Okay. By the way, you said it's the loneliness. I love being by myself. Embrace the loneliness. Loneliness is a time for you. I never feel lonely, by the way. I love being around myself. So start to make your thoughts so positive, so optimistic, so joyful that you're okay being alone. Most people are afraid of being alone. That's why you see so many people addicted to TV and addicted to all kinds of stuff. Start to spend time in meditation. You, Avon, your soul, and this is for all of you that are watching this, your inner you is so beautiful, so uplifting, so joyful that when you start to tap into who you truly are, it'll change your life. I would recommend doing things that make you feel good. Start to feed, I talked about this in another video, start to feed your inner child. I do stuff like I'll take myself to the movies, I'll go shopping by myself, I'll take myself out to a nice lunch, I guess you can call them self-dates or something like that, where I'm just writing it down because I'll probably do a video about this, where I go and I do nice things for myself throughout the day. Life can be stressful. I want to treat myself. I talk to myself like I would talk to one of my best friends, like I would talk to one of you that are on this live. So start to do nice things for yourself so that you're so happy that it doesn't matter if somebody is or isn't with you. And from that place of happiness, you're going to attract so many people that want to be with you. I have so many people that call me to hang out that I would have to split myself into 100 different ways to be able to spend time with all of them. So start to do nice things for you now and watch one person after the next that's positive and healthy show up, and your life is going to be so rich, it's going to blow your mind. And yeah, there's people on this live that want to help you, and I'm willing to help you too if you ever need anything. Another thing I recommend doing, this is for everyone on this live, I do this every morning. I downloaded the YouTube app, and I created a category called daily recordings. And every morning I let these recordings that I save from YouTube, they're all mine actually. There are a number of health and affirmation tracks play, and it puts me in a super good mood. So I recommend you do the same. You have some type of daily recording track that impresses your subconscious, with a number of positive ideas. And that way you start your day from the solid foundation of feeling good. Avon, when you start your day, and all of you, when you first wake up in the morning, before you jump out of bed and get to the activities of the day, start to feel gratitude for what's around you. That's one. And two, Neville talks about this. Before you go to sleep every night, never go to sleep in a negative state. Why? Because whatever you give your subconscious before you go to sleep is what it's going to work on for the next 8 to 10 hours. So focus on what feels good. What I would do for you, Avon, is every day before you go to sleep, see your life the way you would like it to. Feel the feelings of the end result. Even if they're so drastically different than how your life is now, start to see and feel the way you would like things to be. And it's going to give your subconscious these positive ideas, and your subconscious is going to work on them while you sleep. For all of you watching this, every night before you go to sleep, show yourself things of a positive nature. Show yourself the way you would like things to be and feel it. Your 2/3 that you're awake are dictated by the 1/3 that you're asleep. Most people think it's backwards. If I have a good day, then I'll sleep good. You need to learn how to utilize your sleep, how to take control of your mind so that it creates a 2/3 that works for you. Okay, cool. That opened my mind. Oh, awesome. I'm glad. Okay. Okay, my thoughts are like a wild trance. I need help making them nice and gentle. So a lot of people's minds are like a wild horse that they're all over the place, or it's all over the place. So take a conscious approach throughout the day. I would have a series of affirmations that I say to myself morning, noon, and night, so that your brain starts to know that this is what I like to think. And then show yourself positive images morning, noon, and night. And I would do this exercise. I did this for years, and you can do it yourself. Every time something negative comes up, replace it with its positive opposite. throughout the day and through your conversation with others. Start to train yourself. I want you all to be conscious manifestors. Start to train yourself how to think. You need to learn how to think. Most people have never been taught how to think. They just go through life reacting to everything that comes up. I want you to take a conscious approach to the life you want. So every time a negative thought comes up, replace it with its positive opposite until your brain is filled with so much positivity that you have a natural inclination towards good. A great exercise, and I'll probably do a video on it. I have it written down to do one, but I haven't yet, is the 7-Day Mental Diet by Ernest Holmes. The 7-Day Mental Diet by Ernest Holmes. If any of you want it, just send me a DM and I'll send it to you. And it's basically, you take a break from all negative thoughts and worries for 7 days, telling yourself that God is the only thing in charge, God is the only thing occurring. Tony Robbins said that it was the exercise that changed his life. I think it's hugely impactful because it creates a permanent dent in your consciousness. That's one. And two, I would recommend putting yourself in a celebratory state every day. Most people, let's say they live their lives like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the absolute highest, 1 being total depression. Most people live their lives somewhere in the scale. I recommend putting yourself, celebrating every day, putting yourself at a 9 or a 10 so that your default state of being becomes like a 7 or 8 or 9 even. So you're almost at like pure celebration all the time. You always feel good. Take a conscious approach to your thinking, to your thoughts, to how you want to go through life and watch how things change. Give me 1 second. I'm just taking notes on my own stuff so I can make videos about them to help you all. Taming them, yes. Mandy Cat, okay, cool. And then somebody says, I'm just going through the comments to see if I missed anything. I want to make sure that I address everything that anyone says. Power poses are hugely powerful. Thanks for the great advice. You're welcome. Avidly listening. Thank you for that. That is a great affirmation. Everything is working for my highest good. Everything. I want you to imagine that there's let me rephrase this. Let me take a step back. I talk really fast when I get animated. Everything is working together for my highest good. So I want you to imagine that there's a conspiracy of good on your behalf, that every person, place, and thing are working together to bring you the best that life has to offer. That's the way I want you to see things. There's an infinite intelligence back of everything, and it is working everything together for your highest good. If you don't believe there's an infinite intelligence working for you, just look at your body. It's taking everything that you put into it, and it's trying to create health and order and optimization for you at all times. So just that same intelligence, imagine that it's everywhere, working everything together for your highest good, and it is. And the key to contacting that intelligence is by way of your thoughts, your images and your feelings. When you hold ideas in your mind and you feel the feelings of them taking place and you focus on them for at least 34 seconds, because it takes on average 34 seconds for an idea to go from your conscious mind into your subconscious. When you do that, that idea is impressed on your subconscious. It reaches that intelligence within that'll go to work to bring it in your life. So I think that's it. Yeah, everything is working together for your highest good. Another affirmation that I really like is every day in every way, I am getting better and better. I'll say it again. Every day in every way, I am getting better and better. That's from Emil Qui's Self-Mastery Through Conscious Autosuggestion. Fantastic book. Emil Qui is a famous French psychologist from back in the day, but he said that's an all-inclusive affirmation. Your subconscious being infinitely powerful. When you say that affirmation to yourself, it'll know exactly how to make every area of your life better, and it'll go to work to do so. So every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Say it 20 times upon awakening in the morning and 20 times at night, and watch things shift for you. Yoga is healing, helps with emotions. Absolutely. I'm a huge fan of it. Joe Dispenza's meditation. So I did an exercise from Joe Dispenza, and it's basically what I'm telling you now. The exercise is this. I use this exercise, by the way, to become #1 in sales in my company in all of Southern California. I used to sell BMWs, and I worked for AutoNation, which is the largest automotive retailer in the United States. And I had the highest closing percentage of not just BMWs, but of all car salespeople in Southern California amongst all its brands. So this was the process that I used. The process was, he asked, what would it be like? What would it be like? And then you show yourself whatever it is that you want. So what would it be like if I had $10,000? Or what would it be like if I had $100,000? And I would just say, what would it be like if I was number one in sales? And I would see myself, there was a list of all the people, they would do a list every month of who had the highest closing percentage. And I would just see myself on that list and feel the feelings as if it took place. And it ended up taking place and ended up occurring for me. So ask yourself, what would it be like? And then show yourself the end result and get into the feeling tone of it. And it's as if you're planting a seed in your mind and you're watering it every day, every time you do this exercise, and watch things show up for you. Things can change for you really fast, and life can be so much easier for you once you start to apply these processes. How do you make your happiness not depend on others? I struggle with this and can't imagine it. You make your happiness not depend on others by doing things that you enjoy without anyone needing to be a part of it. For instance, one year I wrote out all these things that I wanted to do. I wanted to do a Muay Thai. I said I want to do a Muay Thai fight. I wanted to do comedy. I wanted to learn how to paint. So I asked everybody, does anyone want to go horseback riding? Oh, yeah, and I wanted to learn horseback riding. So I asked everyone, does anyone want to go horseback riding with me? Nobody wanted to go, which sounds kind of shitty, but I ended up going by myself, and it was awesome. I ended up not teaching myself. I ended up going to painting classes to learn how to paint. I ended up taking comedy classes and ended up doing stand-up comedy, and it was great. And I ended up doing that by myself. I invited my friends once I started performing, but prior to that, I was just going to the classes by myself. And lastly, I ended up competing in a Muay Thai fight and winning. So do things for yourself that you enjoy that aren't dependent on other people, and your happiness it'll be internal. It won't be something that has to occur if somebody is or isn't joining you. Let me know if that answers your question. Do you believe we start over life as a new person? I believe that this is all my theory. So this is not fact, this is theory. I always like to classify fact, theory, fantasy. So I believe if you read Testimony of Life, I believe you go to the other side according to your level of consciousness, and then you stay there for a certain amount of time. And then if you choose to incarnate because you want to, either you want to grow or you want to help people or other people have incarnated. Excuse me, I ate. Whatever I ate is disagreeing with me. Then you can start over again. And then you at that same level of consciousness, you will be a new person in the sense that your physical body will be different. But you'll have retained all the experiences that took place before you. A good book on this is Brian Weiss's Many Lives, Many Masters, as it gets into all this. I also have, for those of you who are interested in reincarnation, just type in on YouTube, Tony Namey Tony Namey Past Lives, and I have a whole meditation that'll put you into theta. So there's beta when you're awake, alpha when you're in meditation, theta is when you're in a state of deep, deep meditation or under hypnosis or when you dream at night. My meditation will take you to theta. And then from there, we'll ask the deepest depths of your subconscious mind if you've ever lived any past lives and who you were and what took place. And it's really cool. I've got some really cool results with people that have told me what they saw. So if you want to try that out, type in Tony Namey Past Lives and see what comes up. Where can I find more of your material? First, follow me. Second, get my course. It's 8 hours for just $12.99, so it's a super deal. And then third, I'll have a website up maybe within a week or so where I'll start posting more and more material. And thank you for being interested in more of my material. And I have 2 ebooks as well. One of them will be called How to Master Your Dream Life. The other one is called Your Older Brother's Guide to Dating. That one is for men who want to meet women. The other one is for people who want to manifest their dream life, where I'll go into more of this stuff. Okay, cool. Your voice puts me in a good mood. It's inspirational. Thank you. I actually worked on my voice for a number of years. When you teach and speak, you want to have a voice that's soothing for others. You want to have a voice that resonates with people. So I would practice it. I would practice both if I was going to hypnotize somebody. Talking in a low, relaxed voice. And then obviously I'm really enthusiastic now, so I'm talking faster. But you want a voice that sounds good. I used to work in a prayer center. People would call in and then I would pray for them. And apparently I got really good at it because I'd be at home and people would be calling in saying, I want to pray with that one guy. And they'd say, oh, there's other people here you could pray with, and they're like, no, 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 I'm requesting that guy calls me back and prays with me. So that was nice. Do you believe in Hindu religion and spirituality? Yes. So one, I believe in spirituality, and I believe that this is not the end. This physical incarnation is not the end of everything. I do believe people reincarnate. I do believe there's more to life than just what we see here. I do believe there's another side that's super beautiful. So yes, I'm very much into that. Let me see. Some questions came through. It's the 7-Day Mental Diet by Ernest Holmes. And if you can't find it online, just message me and I will send you a link to it. Good for you. Do people that pass stay with you? Let me know what you mean by that. I don't think they're hanging around in this physical reality. I think they go off to whatever it is that's after this. So that's my thoughts on this. And if you want to contact them, you can still contact them. Just the form of contacting them is different. You can either use the method that I outlined in that video, how to connect with the loved one that's passed, or you could simply relax your body, then relax your mind by counting down from 30 to 1 or 20 to 1, and then place your hands over your heart, visualize the person in front of you, and then send love from you to them, and then see them sending love from them to you, and then tell them anything you want to tell them mentally, and then let them tell you anything you want them to tell you. And watch, you'll feel something. Things will shift for you. It's a real powerful process that I plan to make a meditation on at some point. Are they like your guardian angels? No, I don't think so. I think they just, this is my theory. Some people might be something more on the other side that I'm not aware of because I knew them on this side. So actually, I'll say I don't know. I think people do have higher stuff that watches over them. I've had some interesting stuff take place in meditations. So I'll say I have no idea. So that's my thoughts on them. By the way, if any of you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm probably going to talk for another 10 or 15 minutes. And then we'll conclude today's session, and I can pray us out when we finish. And is there any areas that any of you would like help with? And if you don't follow me, please do go follow me, because I post 1 to 3 videos a day on these type of topics. So I want to see you grow. I want to see you be your best. I want to see you living such an awesome life that you wake up every day just enthusiastic about the day and you go to sleep in gratitude. I want your life to be, and I want it to be fun. I want it to be worthwhile. Life is meant to be lived. If there's no questions, I'll pick a topic and start talking about it. Then I'll freestyle it. Okay. Let me see. I think I'm going to talk about... I talked about the love. If you lose a baby, do they grow or stay babies? First, I'm very sorry for your loss. I think that's one of the hardest things that could ever happen to a person, hands down. So please send me yours and your baby's name, and I'll definitely pray for you both. Now, there's a great book. There's a great book. It's by Brian Weiss called Many Lives, Many Masters. So Many Lives, Many Masters. And he talks about this. He talks about how him and his wife lost a baby early on in their marriage. And he hypnotizes this lady, and she starts telling him about the baby that's on the other side, how it's an adult and how it came to incarnate so that they could learn certain lessons and grow, and how its time was short on this life. So it's very powerful. It's very much an eye-opener. I would recommend, by the way, Melissa, doing the process in the video that I outlined called How to Connect with a Loved One Who's Passed, and let your baby come to you, and your baby will show you where it's at in terms of physicality, spirituality, etc. And I think it'll be really healthy and healing for you. So if you like, try that out. And feel free to check out the book by Brian Weiss, Many Lives, Many Masters. And you can read about his thoughts on what occurred. So I can't answer any of this with definity because I'm still on this side. But that's what I've read, and that's what I think. I think they do grow on. I think this is what I think first. Let me take a step back. I think every child that comes in, you're welcome. I think every child that comes in is a soul that already has its own intelligence, that's already had its own experiences, maybe from past lives, and it comes into this physical form to learn and to grow. How long that time is depends upon what lessons it wants to learn or what lessons it wants its parents to learn. And then some live longer than its parents, some live at a shorter time. So that's my thoughts on it. But what is it? I'll say in Western culture, we tend to have this idea that a baby is just a baby, like it's a brand new soul every single time. But I think there's so much more to it as you start to practice with meditation and getting into spirituality and topics such as this. Hi, I'm new. Hello, Kimmy. Welcome. Glad to have you here. If there's anything you'd like me to discuss, feel free to ask everybody. And if you're new to all this, just start small. I would write out goals, back up those goals with positive images such as a vision board that you're going to see every day, and then write an affirmation for each one of your goals. Jack Canfield, the author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul books, those books have gone on to sell, I don't know, maybe 1 billion copies. He's a great metaphysical teacher, and he says he has on 5x7 note cards. So on one side is his goal and then an affirmation of it. And on the other side is a picture of what it is he wants. So every night before he goes to sleep, he picks up his cards, he looks at the picture, and then he flips it over, and then he gives himself the affirmation. And then goes on to the next one. Looks at the picture, flips it over, it says the affirmation. So do that every night. That's an easy way to program your goals for success. My husband lost his mom on the 20th of October, and he needs some answers. Oh, okay. Have your husband go through the process that I recommended in that video, how to connect with a loved one. And I would highly, highly, highly recommend getting him the book. I'll tell you in 1 second, Pasadena. I would highly, highly recommend getting the book for your husband, Testimony of Light. You can either find it for free as a PDF if you just type in Testimony of Light PDF. So you can just get it right away and send it to him, or order it on Amazon, because it gives a solid framework for how this whole thing works. Us, people who transition onto the other side and so on. So I would highly recommend you get that book for him. I always end up getting it for people who have had a loved one passed on, because it seems like it helps them heal. It gives them some hope that there's something after this, that their loved one isn't just gone, and how you can actually speak to those people. And then I also have him do that process I outlined in that video, and then also have him do things, I guess you could call it a wellness routine, things that feel good to him so that he stays in a positive state. And if he's very, very distraught, then obviously get him professional help to help him work through any emotions that come up. How would I do a vision board of people I don't know but would like to help? I would focus not so much on the people, but show yourself as a counselor or a teacher or whatever it is, the end result that it would look like for you, of you being successful doing that. And then the people will correlate with the image that you have of yourself. The thing is, he thinks she was murdered. I would, if it's something serious like that, where he doesn't have closure on it, still have him do the exercise I outlined in the video, telling himself beforehand that he'll get the answers to what took place during her death. And if that doesn't work, then I would have him actually go see a medium and get the answers for himself. They're gobshites with Visa cards. That might be possible. I don't know. I've gone to a couple mediums. There's only one that I've heard of that was like really good. That was one that my mom went to when my cousin passed away. So he was really good in the sense that, I'll tell you an interesting story by him. I don't have his info, otherwise I would give it to you. So my cousin passed away in a car accident, and my aunt goes to see him, and he's telling my aunt, by the way, if you want me to switch topics, let me know, everybody, or if you want me to stay on these type of topics, just let me know. So my cousin had passed away in a car accident, and my aunt goes to see this medium, and she's sitting with the medium. The medium tells her, he says, your son is now living with a woman who was living with you that was in a wheelchair that passed away recently. And my aunt, he said, but the woman is not a family member that was living with you. She was like a family member, but she wasn't. So, hello. So what had happened was, my aunt had a close family friend who had gotten older, who couldn't take care of herself anymore. So my aunt had her moved in until her death. And when my cousin passed away, the medium said that that's who my cousin was living with now on the other side. But the reason that the story gets even more interesting is he said, tell the lady who's out in the lobby waiting that her father, what did he say? Her father, whose name is the double A, is here and says hello. His name was Abdul something Naimi. It was double A's, and he says hello. And I just thought that was interesting. So, you know what? Anything is possible, Ireland. But it helped my aunt heal and get closure, and that's what's the most important. Is she was able to move forward in a healthy state, especially when my cousin had passed away and it was, real tragic. So that's what I would recommend. But all these things you can do yourself if you just understand the process to do them. In such case, I outline it in that video, how to connect with a loved one who's passed. Your subconscious is infinitely powerful. There is no time and space for it. So before you go to sleep, if you program it with certain ideas, watch it take those actions while you sleep. Now, let me know if anyone, the reason he thinks that she was murdered. Okay. And let me know if anybody has any questions on anything, or if there's any topics you want me to talk about specifically. For those of you who just showed up, we've been talking about the law of attraction. We've been talking about vision boards, how to create one, manifesting ideal relationships, a variety of topics such as that. And if you don't currently follow me, please do, because these are the type of things I talk about every day. And I usually put up 1 to 3 videos every day on these type of topics. And if nobody has any questions, then I'm going to start talking about, I'm going to pull up a spiritual law over here and I'll start talking about it. I'm probably going to talk for about maybe 5 more minutes. Okay. So I think I'm going to talk about the law of cause and effect. So the law of cause and effect basically states that for every cause there's an effect, and every effect is a new cause for another effect. So it's the streamlined series of events that keeps happening. Now, if you don't like the effects that are showing up in your life, if you don't like the effects that are showing up in your life, start changing the causes. For instance, if you're not in shape, change the causes, change your diet, change your exercise routine. Start to change what you can and watch the effects change. Now, the reason this law is important, or what I want to focus on, is the most important cause is the images you're showing yourself. What ideas are you giving to yourself every day in the form of images? Because your images create your belief system, which creates your thoughts, which creates your actions, which creates your results. So start to be aware of what you're showing yourself in the form of pictures every day. And if things don't look in your outer world the way you want them to, start changing it in your inner world. Life is lived inside out. If you're following me, you're a metaphysician. You're using higher mental and spiritual laws to create the life you want. So I want you to be aware of what ideas you're showing yourself. If you're not sure what ideas you have in your subconscious, just look at your life. Those areas that aren't working well are ideas, are belief systems in your subconscious of negativity that need to be changed. I need a positive image download. Yes, you can do this. All you have to do, set a timer on your phone for a minute. See what it is that you want in your life. For instance, if you want to be in shape, see yourself being healthy. Or you could do what I did. I cut out a picture of my ideal body and put it up and put my picture up on it. And I would see and visualize that taking place. As soon as I did that, all these things started to change. I was skinny at the time, and I put up a picture of this really buff guy. And either that same day or the next day, my workout partner told me, "Hey, Tony, you want to start lifting heavy and let's get big?" And I'm like, "Sure." Now, that might be coincidence. That might be correlation. Then the next day, or a day or two after that, I run into my friend who's a personal trainer, and he said, "Tony, what are you working on?" And I told him, "Well, the area I'm working on right now is physical health. I want to get really buff." So he said, "Well, how are you eating?" And he ended up writing me a meal plan. And within a short time, I ended up gaining about 30 pounds of muscle. I ended up getting huge. I got all the way up from 150 to 200 pounds of muscle. Everybody thought I was on steroids, but I had changed my self-image. And as a result, the people, situations, circumstances, and events in my life changed to match this new image. And I ended up becoming the body type that I liked. And it was great. When I'd go to a club, I'd be all buff and women would grab my arms, and it was super cool. But I compete in Muay Thai, and I don't want to fight somebody that's 200 pounds. So I ended up putting a picture up of me skinny, and I got skinny again. But in like fashion, you can cut out pictures of what it is you want, put them up, put your face in the picture or over the person if it's a physical image, and start to visualize and feel it. And as you see it and feel it, it'll be impressed on your subconscious, and your subconscious, not knowing the difference between what's real and what's false, will go to work to make it a reality in your life. Okay. So again, cause and effect, change the causes first with the ideas that you have in your mind, then the thoughts you think as you go through your day. Focus on what's positive, on what feels good, and then watch the effects in your life just change one after the next. Your life will be so bright and so beautiful. People will wonder what's your secret, but you'll know what it is. Life for you will be lived inside out, not outside in. Most people, something negative happens, then they start to focus on it, and they start to get upset by it, and then they impress it on their own subconscious, unconsciously, and as a result, they create a cycle of negativity. Don't be like other people. Focus on what feels good. Focus on what feels right. Take a conscious approach to your manifestations and watch things change for you. So I think it's about 9:05. I think I'm going to conclude the live for tonight. If anyone has any questions, ask me now, or forever hold your peace. If you want me to pray you all out, I'm happy to do so. Or if you want to just conclude, we can say great night and we can all go out. We can all go on our day. Tommy Saul, hello everybody. For those of you who just joined, we've been talking about law of attraction and manifesting your ideal life. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask this now. Otherwise, I think I'm going to conclude the live for tonight. And I usually tend to come on around 8:30 every night. And please feel free to follow me as I post 1 to 3, usually around 8:30 every night. 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock. I might change it only because I tend to exercise at night. And then that way, how often do you go live? I go live fairly often. I try to go live every night, actually. So I'm on here pretty often. So I think I'm going to take a break for a little bit. I might come back on later, but I think I'm going to conclude for now. Do you guys want a prayer to send you out, or should I just conclude? If you want prayer, I'm happy to do so. It's a nice way to end it. Okay, prayer sounds nice. Cool. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. All right. So everybody, I don't care if you can, as long as you're not driving a car, go ahead and close your eyes now. Okay, so go ahead and close your eyes. And let's all just take an easy, gentle breath. And take another breath, just breathing in a breath of love now. And take another deep, cleansing breath, just letting go of anything that came before this moment. And I begin all prayers with gratitude to anchor in the right feeling, tone, and vibration. So I am grateful. I am grateful right here and right now, grateful for the people who showed up on this live stream. I'm grateful for the Spirit of God that has prepared me to share this wisdom that I've been able to share forth with you all today. I'm grateful for this spiritual technology known as prayer that allows us to commune and connect with the divine. And I'm grateful for this physical technology known as TikTok that allows us to get together in this atmosphere of peace and harmony. And from this place of gratitude, I recognize that God is all that there is, that there is only one power, one presence, one activity taking place, and that is God, and that God is always good. God is peace. There is no stress or tension within God. God is harmony, all things working together for good. God is abundance and success, infinite overflowing good, working everything together for good. And in this moment, I am one with the peace and harmony of God. I am one with the abundance and success of God. I am one with all that God is. And as I know this to be true of me, I know this to be the absolute truth of every listener on this live call, right where they are. The Spirit of God is in its fullness and its totality right here and right now. I claim and call for such divine peace, such divine harmony, such divine good for these listeners right here and right now, that anything of a negative, discordant nature is released. It is resolved, dissolved, absolved once and for all, gone back into the nothingness from which it came, never to return. I claim and call for such peace, that harmony occurs, that bliss occurs, that infinite good now flows through them. I claim and call forth such harmony that everything, every person, place, situation, circumstance, and event is now working together in total harmony in their lives, creating the absolute best that life has to offer. I claim and call forth the abundance of God flowing through them, abundant wisdom, so they know what to do, what not to do, how to live their best and highest lives. I claim and call forth abundant prosperity, all needs met, not just needs, but their wants, their desires, their innermost wishes, that which they secretly hoped would come true is now heretofore taking place from this moment forward. I claim and call forth success, divine success, God's success, taking place in each and every one of these listeners' lives. Anything and everything they put their hands to from this moment forward is divinely prospered, divinely blessed. Be it any business undertaking, it is prosperous. Be it any relationship, it is prosperous. Be it the physical body, it is prosperous. Whatever they desire to do, whatever they desire to achieve, backed, sourced, fueled, and funded by that infinite presence known as God, they are successful now. So I give thanks that as they go forward in a new atmosphere of peace, harmony, and abundance and success. I give thanks that as they go forward, that the obstacles that had heretofore hindered their good, their growth, their life, are now removed, released, resolved, and absolved. I give thanks that as they go forward in a new atmosphere of success, peace, and prosperity, greater good than they have ever imagined, taking place now. And I release this prayer. Oh, it is done now. It does not return empty nor void, but it is answered in better, brighter ways than anything I could say. It is done. Abundance, success, peace, and harmony are the names and orders of the day. So I take my hands off this prayer. I allow it to be. And I say, and so it is. Amen. Whew. All right. So go fly, my little birds. Thank you for this time together. It's been grateful. Amen. Oh, man. Okay, cool. Thanks, Jojo. Follow me. I get on these live streams. Yes. Power Warrior. We used to call ourselves prayer warriors. So prayer changes things, and this prayer will shift things, has shifted things on your behalf. So watch the changes that start to occur in your lives. And I'm always here if you all need anything, and good things are in store. Good things are the name and order of the day. So it's been a real pleasure talking to you all. I might tune back in later. I might not. It just depends if I go to sleep early or not. But thank you for taking this time out to be with me. And it's been an honor speaking to all of you. Peace and blessings. I will see you all soon. Yes, I do too. Thanks, Jojo. Whoa. 200 diamonds. What is a diamond?